the only victories that matter are the ones that happen in live competition.
Curse is kind of a mismatch for us. In scrims, it's kind of like 50-50, but we both don't necessarily like super try hard in scrims.
I think in scrim mentality, we're more of a practice team, so we don't try our hardest, but when we're out there in LCS, we'll definitely win.
We feel confident against Curse. If we scrim against them, we usually win, so hopefully it happens in the real thing, even though they don't try hard in scrims.
I think we should have them. We've played against them a lot. I'm very confident, but, you know, they're all great players, so anything could happen.
These two have only played each other in the LCS once before. Curse was in total control the Week 2 match and came away with a win. Can Vulcan even the score today?
And it's going to be really tough for them because the last time they played was way back when Curse dictated the flow of that game. It was like a 7-4 victory over 30 minutes. It was a little of parallel to the game like we just saw, where Curse had total control and Vulcan just couldn't do anything against it.
Yeah, Vulcan and struggling here this weekend. Vulcan, you kind of see their play style back and forth. If they don't get the champions they want, it can spell disaster.
And this was the week that Vulcan was supposed to make their move. They seem to do this every time, right? Like they started the season 0-5, then they won 3 games in a row. Then they move up to 7-10, and everyone's like, yeah, they're going to do it. And now they're at risk of going 0-3 again, right? Like they need to pull it together. And Curse has had their own struggles this weekend, right? Because they dropped their game against CLG as well.
Yeah, Cop showing that he's not invincible against everybody. He did die, and I know you've been on those factors. What are those stats again?
This is really funny. The first 15 games of the entire year, Cop died 9 times. Against CLG, he died 3 times. So that was a bad game for Cop's KDA ratio and his all-star chances.
He was super, you could see it in his face yesterday. He was like, I died. Nope, not. I bet you didn't even sleep last night. That's bad. But let's check out our lineups for today. On the blue team, it's Vulcan. Psycho Sid in the top lane, Xmithy in the jungle, Mandatory Cloud in mid, Zuna on AD, and Muffin Cutie in support.
And on the red team, we have Curse with Voyboy in the top lane, St. Vicious in the jungle, Jackie in mid lane, Cop on AD, and Elements on support.
So we're expecting some TFs, some Nidalees to be banned out here, and kind of in the last game, Reginald in the interview we just had, he was saying that, you know, we didn't have initiation, and we were saying that GGU didn't have initiation, and that's probably why we saw them just dance backwards into their nexus, because neither of them could initiate the fight, but they were stronger to push the objective. So. Vulcan actually works well with that, with the poke comp. They do get you down to 50% health, like you were saying, so they can work without the initiator.
That's if they get the Nidalee.
That's if they get
like Mandatory Cloud is 4-0 on Nidalee, and if that doesn't happen, then Curse is going to be going, because like St. Vicious is going to play initiators. Voyboy is going to play initiators. If someone starts fights, it's going to be Curse. That's why Cop doesn't die so much, because Curse is always the other team punching the other team in the face. Like they're not getting charged they're always
fist
doing the
of unity.
Yeah, they turn their entire team into a fist
of unity. You just drive it right into the team. There's Voyboy waving out. And Comp even said before, you know, himself, I'm a support AD. I spread damage across the team, and everybody else finishes that up because I'm on the backside. If he picks up enough, he picks up that KDA. But like you said, he keeps out in the back and just hangs off on the wing. There's Zuna, the AD carry as well for Vulcan with Muffin Cutie next to him, and that Mandatory Cloud in mid. Probably, as we said, looking for his Nidalee. Like Xmithy has been really favoring Nasus as well in the jungle. I think he was kind of the first one to bring it out at MLG as well.
Yeah, all of these guys are really bandwagoning on Nasus and Volibear, and I don't think we're going to see much different in this game. Yes, Xmithy played a little bit of Hecarim that's pretty good, and we might see some of that. I know Diamond Prox was playing it as well over in EU today, and we have seen it a lot in the Chinese games as well, like Invictus Gaming. This is back in like the Stars Wars League, just obliterated Najin Sword, the OGN champions, with a Karthus Hecarim comp, but that's way over on the other side of the world, and we're into picks and bans.
We are. There's the Nidalee, the Gragas going out as well. He's kind of been a bandwagon champion as well that people are finding. He's seen top and mid play.
He's finally getting some bans this weekend, right? Voyboy played him top, Scar's been playing him mid, and this is like the second or third ban we've had just this week alone. The Janna ban as well. I think Elements yelled out, no, right when they did that, because he really wanted to play Janna.
Absolutely. The homework being done by them as much as Jat does as well. Diana and Rumble going out, and it looks like they take away Cop's fave, too.
That's real smart, actually. They got the bans down.
That was them as well.
All the stuff they're going. They're just taking it out. Like, they wanted to run Janna MF, and now they can't. But at the same time, that leaves St. Vicious his pick of jungle. He likes Nasus more than Volibear if he goes with this. And also Voyboy. You know, I'm not sure if they're going to go with something, but Renekton is definitely one of his. He's actually like the most versatile top laner in all of the North American LCS.
Brotherly love, man. Renektus Nassen. I'm going to stick with that.
Doesn't even make sense.
Nope. Didn't even mean to say it. Jarvan getting possibly locked in here by Xmithy. The word meld is starting to happen.
I was going to go with Renektas, but that is not the right thing to say. Because it's Nasus and Renekton.
Well, he acts like one, so it can apply. It could apply. Mandatory Cloud looks to be locking in a possible Sona support, and he does for his team. So we kind of see the disengage / ready to be in your face with Jarvan as well kind of composition going.
Yeah, and I think that Curse is going to go with a Lulu on top of this. It's really going to just try to speed up the giant crocodiles and dogs that are going to be sending themselves in. Cop's 80 carry is probably going to be something like Tristana or Kog'Maw if I had to pick one, but we'll see, because he can't go MF.
He cannot. He does kind of like that Kog'Maw. Hasn't played it in some time. We do have Caitlyn to be locked in as well, so they may go for a safe, that Cop, I'm in the back lane.
Yeah, once they get the Lulu, everyone goes Caitlyn, it seems, on top of that. And they're not worried about the hyper carry so much as they are about Cop just sitting in the back and poking. Like, Wild Turtle's poke from Caitlyn last game was really, really strong, and they'll probably go with that. You little... Just after I justified being wrong.
He said, that's for you, Jad.
Yeah.
So it looks like they may be locking this one in. It is going to be with the Lulu, and I really like that because it kind of brings up the old composition. That was amazing.
Quinn.
I am super...
Everyone's just shouting, Quinn, Quinn. It's in. We talked at the start of the show. This has to be real. This has to be real. We talked at the start of the show. We're probably not going to see her this week, but we talked about her split pushing ability. And I need to figure this out for a second. I did not expect that to happen. Is this Quinn mid or Quinn top? Because Quinn mid is the way that I think people should play her. Because she can shove out the mid, and she has so much mobility from her bird form that she can make the ganks in the top or the bot in the side lanes. Like if she's top, she can only roam mid. But that was not expected. It's not on the sheets.
So what do I say when you're confused? No, I'm just kidding.
Rise.
But no, I'm super excited to see, the Kennen and the Quinn come in here. This is exactly what needs to happen this far into the LCS. The teams need to start making moves. They need to make things happen, and it looks exactly like it could be mandatory Cloud and mid on that.
I'm a little excited. I did not expect Vulcan or any LCS team to innovate this quickly, because this is the thing. I saw this huge thread on Reddit this morning. It's like, what do you think of Quinn so far? And it's like, well, she doesn't fit her role as an AD carry. And it's like, that's not her role. Like, she has an AD carry kit, but her ultimate is completely different. So to find the niche for that, you find a role for her on the map, and that is shove out mid lane, create skirmish opportunities, and fight the side lane. Split push the rest of the game. The Quinn fact we had at the start of the show the entire time. Home guard boots, boots of mobility. If all the turrets are down in the middle of the lane, you go from Nexus to the entrance of the other team's base in 20 seconds, the duration of tag team, which is Quinn's ultimate. So, seeing it. Hashtag LCS, Quinn, now, stuff.
It's about to happen. Lock it in. Send out the link. Make sure you get everybody on it. na.lolesports.com. This match is about to go down. We got our last and final match of the day. Curse versus Vulcan. Quinn possibly going in mid here versus Rise. Let's talk a little bit about that matchup. The ranges, the kits. How is that going to work?
Yeah, so I think if there's any kind of brawling going on, the Nyjackie's Rise would be able to pick him off.
Right.
But Rise is not a good shover. Right? I don't know if they know what's coming at them. No one plays Quinn in solo queue, it seems, like right now. Because people are just like, I'm going to do an 80 carry. I don't think Nyjackie has played against Quinn mid in his life. So this is a first-time thing for him.
This is absolutely what we expect to see here. So Nyjackie not thrown out of his comfort zone by what you've said, probably not playing against the Quinn, but going to be different. We'll see how he adapts. These last few games have been about adaptation, and that's where you get your W's in the LCS. Our last game of the week here in Week 7, Vulcan versus Curse, now underway and on the Rift.
Oh, man. So I'm going to probably change this a little bit. I'm going to talk about Quinn a lot, I think. We see League of Legends every day, but this is the first LCS game or even competitive game that I think we have ever seen Quinn in. So let's make sure to focus on this. Both him and Nyjackie have started with a crystalline flask, so not sure how that's going to play out. Like, a lot of times you'll see the early bullies picking up red elixirs, but if he is to shove the lane consistently, he's going to need a lot of mana to spam his Q over and over again. So we'll see how that plays out.
Looks like they're actually going for a very tricky. I thought they were going to sit in the bush and actually wait for their own 140 invade, but they are not. They are kind of waltzing all the way up the river. This is a lot of vision they're giving away if Vulcan were to be in the right position.
Yeah, and Curse has pulled off some really good level 1s, especially against Dignitas, where they just said they completely outplayed them, but they walked through that river ward They don't know if it's entirely there, and Vulcan very well knows what just happened. They see them walk back as well, so Vulcan knows they had a ward placed in their own Wraith area.
Looks like you said, nothing happening. They also have a red ward placed for a late invade here if Curse were to go for that. We'll have to see if Vulcan chooses to go aggressive because of these wards, because knowing the path Curse may take now from the information they are or aren't receiving.
Yeah, so not much happened. I gotta say, fairly heavy spread of wards considering a level 1, but still not much action. There will be knowledge pretty much of the location of Xmithy if he walks by his Wraiths, and Vulcan will have no idea where St. Vicious is coming from, so they're going to have to be a little more cautious.
Voyboy going to be taking up Wraiths for himself. That'll be great as he hits level 2 in lane. Fort Pop for him. Actually, Fort Pop for Psycho Sid as well. So going on to Kennen. We'll see what he actually chooses to max in lane, and he does start off with Q, not W.
Yeah, so Red Elixir Psycho Sid against Red Elixir Voyboy. That'll be a very interesting matchup up top to see if he can keep them at bay. I mean, Voyboy going to be going for an early level 2, but Psycho Sid will as well. So that's going to be really potentially a volatile matchup, but Psycho Sid should be able to keep Voyboy at bay.
Xmithy actually goes all the way around Dragon from the bottom side to come up for this gank because they pinged the ward near Wraith. So you can see Nijaki playing this and playing the top side of the lane.
Yeah, they're trying to get something early going off with Nijaki, but he is playing so cautiously in the back. He doesn't know what to expect against Quinn, so I feel like he's just like, I'm staying away from this guy until I figure out what's happening.
Get away from me. The flasks in middle, I think that's, you know, something we haven't seen too much lately. Kind of is by choice now if you want to grab that. We've seen a lot of fairy charms, both pots, flask and pots now for both Nijaki and Mandatory Cloud on an AD and an AP. Yeah,
so this mid lane is so intriguing for what Mandatory Cloud can do. This is an interesting thing about his vault that a lot of people don't realize. I'm going to do Quinfax as the game goes on. If he vaults as he's chasing, it'll actually vault him back to not max auto attack range because they know he's going to be chasing. He'll be kind of close. But if he vaults from very close to a target, it'll put him all the way back to 525 range. So if he's escaping a gank, he's actually going to want to let St. Vicious get close to him and then vault away rather than vaulting right away.
All right, we'll see. In that tight moment, he can play it and position correctly for himself. Good push coming from the Sona lane down bottom. That's what you're going to get out of that poke. Looks like they're not doing too much damage, but they are able to keep Cop just to that mark near his turret. 19 to 14, both on the Dorans for the AD start.
And that is not a surprise. The only AD that doesn't go Dorans is I'm a Cutie Pie, but that lane is going pretty well, I have to say, for Zuna in this situation. So they're shoving him back. They are not fearing the jungle pressure from St. Vicious quite yet, but they will have to fairly quickly. And ManCloud took a chunk there from Nijaki.
Looks like they may try to go for a lane gank here on the top lane. With Spirit Stone picked up, St. Vicious trying to get the most out of that blue and red buff as he's going for lane towards Voyboy. Bottom still pushing quite hard. Looks like mid's really not taking any damage as we look at the sidebars.
Yeah, and you know, the Crystalline Flask in mid lane. Let me go back to that again. Think ManCloud still has his charges of it left, whereas Nijaki's burned through most of them, so should be able to over-sustain that for a little bit. And he's out-farming him in the mid lane quite a bit as well. That's being made up for the fact that Psycho Sid is getting out-farmed by Voyboy.
St. Vicious only has a few more steps to take if he does go into the river for this gank. Easy surge out from Psycho Sid is going to make this. Actually, he gets stunned up, so he's not going to get the movement speed from that. He is going to be forced to flash here, and he actually may just go down. The Wither's still ticking. They're going to get a few more hits. First blood coming in for Voyboy.
The timing of Voyboy's stun was so important there. During the lightning rush, Psycho Sid needed to make distance, and he was stunned, so he couldn't. The flash didn't matter because Wither made him too slow, and that was a very well-executed gank by Curse. Not only was Voyboy winning that lane before, he's going to crush it now.
That's very big. What do you want from Kennen in the end? You want him to be able to dive in. So if you can shut him down now, it really just depletes what he's there for. Mandatory Cloud. The Wither once again. Can they come up with a double kill? Not a double kill, but two. One from each lane, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, the roam from St. Vicious, level 4 Nasus ganks, just walking up, pulling off some really impressive plays.
Lane to lane. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes down towards bottom for the third. It has been pushed up. They are past that river. The rule of thumb is you need a ward. They have it, so they are playing this one safe. They will know when to go back. We can see also the pressure being put on that lane. They've pink warded their own bush and bottom from Curse, so they're taking consideration into their ganks.
And Xmithy making sure to keep St. Vicious on tilt as well, but a pink ward just bam right there for St. Vicious. So
no.
It's actually a pretty big gold swing, right? Like, that's 100 gold spent / given, right? 75 for the gold, 25 for getting on St. Vicious, and it pays for the pink ward itself because that was 125. So really good counteracting right there.
We have Psycho Sid back to lane, and he actually goes for the Doran's Blade first. Actually, more particular for myself, picking up the Doran's Shield so you can get that regen and sustain that lane.
Right, so in the top lane there, Psycho Sid's Kennen, a lot of Kennens will 1 or 2 Dorans, but still go AP, just because the auto attack harass is so awesome from Kennen in the lane that you want to be able to pick that up for just lane domination. He's maxing his W right now, which is enhancing his attack damage passive when it goes through. So that's what he's trying to do against Voyboy since he's already been struggling.
Trading a bit of damage back at level 5. Level 4 actually for Element, so throughout this, that's not going to hurt him too much, but he has been kind of pushed out of position as he hits 5 a little late in the lane. That may mean an all-in from the MF and Sona ult if they're able to hit that. Yeah,
and I wonder if they're going to be able to do anything in this lane once they've been pushed up the whole time. Like, that's the one lane St. Vicious hasn't went to. And Mandatory Cloud is 6, which would give him like the roaming potential, but he's losing those trades pretty hard to Nijaki in the mid lane. And that's not going to be good if he wants to roam around.
Yeah, that's easy. He doesn't even have the Desperate Power on as well. He's able to take Man Cloud half health, and that's 1, 2, 3 for himself. So Nijaki looking to go over, soak up that blue buff for himself. We are 7.5 minutes into this one as we have seen Psycho Sid go down in the top lane. That's Voyboy and Saint, the kill and assist there. The CS 56-39, and Voyboy's really pressuring and capitalizing on that advantage.
Yeah, and the great thing about this for Voyboy is that red elixir he started the game with, he's still sitting on. Psycho Sid is about to wear out on his. He's got like 5 seconds left, so once that happens as well, Voyboy will just extend his advantage even more so.
Pings into the bottom lane as it looks like St. Vicious is going to hang out here and say, I'm guarding the lane. Can he keep Sona there? They don't have the vision on it. They had the pings. But they said no, they are going to keep that in. Saint's like, I'm taxing your lane, don't worry about it, just look away.
Yeah, he's just taking the monies and running with it. We talked with Chowster earlier about like St. Vicious. Yeah, he takes a lot of lane farm, and it makes him a more powerful player later in the game. His team is completely okay with letting Cop give a bit of farm to Saint because the overall power is big here. And this is the objective control that St. Vicious can add. If you ult, that Dragon's going down hyper fast. Mandatory Cloud could scout it and maybe try to go in. They're trying to get it, but look how fast it's going down.
See that damage is taking. Does he choose to go in? Psycho Sid taking some damage up top. They are able to get it. Element's getting some gold. Smithy decides to go in. They have the ultimates to come. Sid goes down up top, and they continue to go through the fight. St. Vicious finally getting a kill for himself, rather. And it looks like they're going to continue to push in through this one. Mandatory Cloud looking to get out. Oh, the Glitter Lance flash! He tries to dive in and go for the kill on Saint. The Ignite is there, and he picks it up. Great job to go 1 for 1 on that last battle.
Unfortunately, though, they lost the Dragon and a 3 for 1, so that's about a 2,000 gold swing that there goes into Curse. Really, the positioning for Vulcan, they looped around at the wrong times. They didn't really go together, and then Mandatory Cloud didn't get his ultimate off in the team. He actually transformed out of bird form, didn't get the extra damage when he jumps back, and it didn't work out for them in the end.
Coming up on 10 minutes here, Voyboy now able to pressure on the resources of Vulcan in the jungle. Looks like they're going to start to push back as we get a quick replay as the teams reset. Yeah,
the big thing about this one is in the replay, we can't see them going in for the Dragon if we get the replay.
Yeah. Like I said, just clearing out this top lane, going back down to Zuna and Muffin Cutie. They're going to continuously actually not continuously, they're slow rolling this one now. They know there wasn't a bit of an advantage given back and forth there, and they're just playing it safe.
Yeah, so Curse was taking it slow and steady till the Dragon, and they're going to continue to take it slow and steady because with Mandatory Cloud, like, he's not a team fighter on Quinn. They will need to create some kind of split push presence, and until he gets items, he still scales like an AD carry, but not quite enough. Like, unless he's getting his max items, he's not a split pushing threat. So even though he doesn't play like an AD carry, he needs to get AD carry scaling until he can pull off his split push.
Right, so as we come up 10.5, it's 4-1 right now between these guys. Like we said, that little fight kind of gives Vulcan enough idea of the fight they're going up against, and this cannot happen for Psycho Sid again. He is just getting dominated by Voyboy. Voyboy walking into the turret. Not going to use the ultimate, but he does have it, just doesn't have the ghost.
Yeah, the patience of Voyboy is just the evolution of him as a player, really, because a year ago he would have dove that turret, maybe died. At this point, he's going to take the lane domination, continue to out-farm Psycho Sid, and just slowly wear him down.
And Sid actually, instead of getting that other Doran's Blade, he does go for the Doran's Shield. Piecing
now Voyboy wants to dive.
Piecing together things that aren't even really going to help him towards that late game, and Voyboy now able to proxy farm on Renekton.
I'm expecting Mandatory Cloud to like go up there and help him because he could get there so fast with his bird, and here he comes.
There it is. He could throw down that ultimate. It's going to lock up Voyboy. Beautiful dash out. Can't get the third surge. Doesn't stun him up yet. Where's that W? Can he get one to come out? Psycho Sid waiting on the cooldowns, and they finally have enough to take him out. Suna, however, on the backside, throws down the barrier, but he goes down too fast. They come up with a kill on each side.
And it turns into a 2-for-1 for Curse because they knew the roam was up top. They could just go in bottom, and xMithy was not there for the support. So it was a good play by ManCloud and Psycho Sid, recognizing Voyboy's aggression. Right after I said he's evolved and isn't going to tower dive, he goes and tower dives and gets himself in trouble. But Curse used the pressure Voyboy created to create another good play on the map.
And we'll see what the items are now. AD Carry still going for that power. Fort Pot actually going into the hands of Comp as he had some extra gold to spend as he went back. Rod of Ages looking to be built onto Nijaki as he has the tier and the catalyst. He is pretty much in lane infinitely.
Yeah, he's going to be able to sustain a whole bunch, especially considering he's got the crystalline flask in there as well. So he's happily farming, and he hasn't really been shut down by Mandatory Cloud that much. The Quinn hasn't been hyper-threatening for him yet, and he's also been able to pick up those 2 kills. So Nijaki's sitting real pretty on Rise.
We see that Psycho Sid throws 800 gold into that scepter right away. He also picks himself up the cloth armor, so completely piecing things together right now.
Yeah, Psycho Sid's really trying to survive this lane, and he did survive the one dive by Voyboy, but he didn't survive it.
No.
He got the kill for him as well. And then he hasn't built anything like that. To me is now an AD Kennen. It's potentially just a full AD team for them, so they're going to have to start getting like Black Cleavers and stuff eventually.
In the end of the worst possible things, you usually have the Kennen just build the Zonias as fast as possible, no?
Yeah, usually you do, but if they're deciding to go with the full AD comp and split pushing, I can see why they'd want it.
Oh, there's the speed. He has his Ghost up, the Ignite, and Ultimate. The tower's even almost down. He could probably get the kill and the tower. Psycho Sid looking to keep that 4th Shuriken proc up so he can get the stun down. He is just completely wary of everything Voyboy can do right now.
Yeah, and it's not only the items for Psycho Sid. I should have checked at the start of the game when he built the Doran's Blade, but he's got armor penetration from his Masteries as St. Vicious goes in bottom.
Oh man, he can get the, there it is, the flash, and then the Wither, which pretty much cancels it out. They walk right up to Zuna. It could be enough if they have the crescendo. It's been used. Can they continue this fight? xMithy is taking a lot of damage right now. St. Vicious just throws on the ultimate. They are not going to stop. They're gung-ho. The ultimate comes out from Sona. Muffin Cutie, however, may go down one last attack. He goes the tit for tat coming in with Nijaki. Mandatory Cloud here flying in from the top side. He comes in for a flyby, but he can't get the kill. The Ignite's still ticking. Element stays alive with a sliver of health. The skin of his teeth tearing off as St. Vicious limps away as well. Cop is still there to fight.
Oh my goodness, ManCloud almost went in 1v3 and made something happen, but 2 people escaped with almost nothing, and the fight probably goes to Curse at the end of the day.
So crazy. Thought actually Muffin Cutie had used the ultimate already, but he is holding it the whole time. I saw everybody just stood there, but actually they were waiting to get back out of that Jarvan ultimate into the fight. Voyboy now pressuring the top lane. He'll probably take out this turret. More gold coming in for Curse. 8-3 now. 3,000 gold lead at 15 minutes.
Also, I think the only situation in that last fight that Vulcan could have ever came out on top is if they get Curse to overdive, which is what they did while Muffin Cutie held that crescendo.
Yeah.
They were waiting for Mandatory Cloud to roam down to the bottom, and also his ultimate needed to come off cooldown. It just came up when he went in for that one, so it was a nice attempt. They couldn't make it happen, and now, because of the miscommunication, Vulcan's all spread out. Curse is getting that dragon for free.
Dragon's going to be quite easy for them. They picked this one up. It was actually grabbed by Elements last time. We'll see if we can get it again.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter in this case. They don't need to worry about the smites. St. Vicious actually historically hasn't been that great of a smiter. He's always said he doesn't want to deal with smite trading. It's a very volatile situation, and he hasn't had much success getting smite things, but that wasn't a problem there.
Not at all. Voyboy waiting in the wing here to dive in on the Psycho Sid, and this, you know, Voyboy is so far ahead when every engagement you want is to be damage as well as the CS in lane.
Right, it's 127-98. Psychos came pretty far back. That's about the same as it's been before, but Voyboy still happily 1,300 gold ahead, and he will be getting that Sunfire Cape pretty soon, which is that is when Voyboy's going to take control.
And there's been a little help in their engagements, but you look 0-2-1, 2-1-0. That's exactly where those guys just fighting each other. A little bit of help from mid, like here and there. Mandatory Cloud forcing back Saint in mid as they're trying to figure out where the map pressure is and possibly clear out some of it as well. It looks like Smithy could get caught out here.
Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble. He's going for Nijaki, and then he's going to need support from Mandatory Cloud. There's the bird.
Oh, they pinch him in. Do they have enough? He's going to prison Mandatory Cloud, but he gets locked into the Cataclysm itself.
You know, Mandatory Cloud is really comfortable on that champion, it seems like. He's using the bird form pretty damn well. He's 2-1-1. He's actually kind of highest farm on his team and also most kills, so we'll see if he can power up and actually become that split pusher after the rest of the game comes out.
Good damage down on the bottom turret, but it doesn't look like too much. It'll probably be the next dragon for Curse, then that turret, or one or the other. They seem to back off here and really not put too much pressure on. They have good vision. They actually have 2 vision wards down in the bottom, so they have all the aggression to be putting on.
And that mid turret is not going to last long. Saintfish is going to try to wither one of them and slow him down, but yeah, that's why he holds turrets well.
That was so great. Back and forth, little ping pong to get some damage onto Saint Vicious, and he really just watches everything happen in the acrobatics. 17 minutes all here. No kills, actually. The real kills or fake kills since the last time we called them out. Vulcan versus Curse. If you're just joining us here, just probably halfway through the game for our last matchup here of the day in Week 7 of the LCS in North America. Looks like everybody's going to be backing, resetting. No big team fight yet. Jackie still trying to stack the tier. He has finished the rod. We have a Locket of the Iron Solari finished for both junglers to get into that fight-ready position. And the Infinity Edge coming out for Cop before Zuna can core an item.
And it's actually really strange because Quinn is the lane that's winning for Vulcan. Psycho Sid is getting dominated by Voyboy, and Zuna and Muffin Cutie have not had success against Cop and Elements. So they're out farming them, but Cop has the Infinity Edge, right? They've been getting the kills, so they're up. They've also controlled dragons on them. So it's like the Quinn really working, but the rest of the team is letting him down a little bit.
So from what we actually said before, touching on Quinn again, is it working in the way you thought it would? Is it going to become that split push that they want, if it is going to be, or are they not working with it enough?
Well, here's the problem that's going to happen for Vulcan is if Mandatory Cloud goes and split pushes, I'll get to that in a minute. Here comes Saint.
Oh, it looks like Muffin Cutie could find himself in a bad spot here. Saint is going to keep himself walking in front of Cutie, keeping that damage on, but they're going to get to the turret. Zuna's so low, they bring him to Zuna. Zuna's like, don't walk towards me. I don't have any health right now. Zuna puts on barrier, and bullet time is not going to be enough. One last hit from Saint is now it's all under the turret. Smithy and Muffin Cutie both yelling sorry to Zuna as they hightail it out, but it looks like Muffin Cutie throws himself back in the fire. They have Mandatory Cloud coming on one side. This is a very big I think I can fight, and Vulcan has to be careful.
Yeah, they've already lost 2. This turret's in a lot of trouble, and a fight up top.
Oh my gosh, aggression all over the rift right now. Voyboy takes down the turret, doesn't get any more damage from that. Mandatory Cloud popped off the map. Nijaki Ignite will kill him down. Smithy looking to flash over the wall. There is the speed up, but they are not going to chase.
And Vulcan lost this one again, so Curse looks to continue this pressure down on the rest of the map. They are backing up, but that was a big win. I mean, Nijaki and Cop both showing the power. To get to your question earlier, Riv, about Mandatory Cloud trying to do that split pushing, it's going to be very interesting because the 4-man team that Vulcan has to be is so weak. If ManCloud tries to split push, Curse will not hesitate to dive in and finish. So Vulcan may be a little bit handcuffed here.
We'll have to see if they have the key to get out. 20 minutes coming up onto this one. A 5,000 gold lead is still very small, especially 20 minutes into the game. It probably means that one person has a lot of that gold. If we look at it right now, it's actually spread between the mid and the AD. See 3 kills on both Nijaki and Cop, and those are the absolute damage dealers for the team. You're going to get that huge machine gun rise burst in the late game King Cop on Kog'Maw.
Yeah, it's like the worst people that could have gold is the hyperscaling rise and the huge Kog'Maw, because Voyboy and St. Fishes are just going to do damage over time with their ultimates. They don't, sure, it's nice to have them farmed, which they're pretty farmed as well, but they don't need it as badly as Nijaki and Cop. So the team strategy is really working out for Curse, and Saint is just living bottom here.
Oh my gosh, he goes right for Zuna. He walked past Muffin Cutie, gave him a high five, allowed the backline to finish that off, and it is just going to be Cop going in. 1 kill for him, 1 kill for Jackie.
Yeah, look at the pink ward control. You'd think that Vulcan wouldn't be pushed up so far because they have the pink wards in the tri-brush, but Saint just ended up walking straight past them even without ghosting. Zuna and Muffin Cutie might be a little bit on tilt here. I mean, he's 0-4 against that Kog'Maw. He just wants to farm, but they gotta realize that St. Vicious is freely walking down there and spamming with her.
And you can see just how far Curse feels that they are ahead. Athene's coming out onto Element, so he's going to start putting out some damage as well if he chooses to use that shield in its opposite form. Voyboy going on to Sid. Sid uses the surge again, or that rush, and gets himself stuck up for some damage.
At least Vulcan got the middle turret while the split pushing happened, but it cost them an inner, so that is not usually worth the trade. At least it makes Vulcan get on the board, and it will give Mandatory Cloud a bit more room to roam. But they're constantly outnumbered in the other lanes, so he can't really make much of an impact right now.
Smithy looks to be stealing away the red here as he gets himself out. He actually just got his, so that's going to be nice for him. They are trying to still thwart whatever Curse has, and what they have is a very big advantage. Another Dragon freely going in their favor. Voyboy is actually going to do a tit for tat on the buff exchange there, and he's going to steal away the buff.
Yeah, Dragon number 3 for Curse. Really, really big stuff. They've got the lockets. They've got an Athene's Unholy Grail on Elements. He loves building those big-time items on supports. You know, 35 farm on Lulu as well is nothing to joke at from a support position. This is turning into a power play for Curse, especially considering Vulcan's team fighting isn't necessarily huge. They have nothing but ADs, and they haven't reached their armor penetration yet, right? So they don't have a Black Cleaver or any Last Whispers, and it's allowing Curse to just stack up armor. So right now, the arms race for Curse is hugely in their favor.
And we kind of mentioned it last game coming in with Caitlyn. Didn't build too much attack speed right off the bat. And we can see that Zuna's been forced into that as well. He has the Bloodthirster, and now he's trying to get the Last Whisper. Does kind of have the speed still right on MF, but it's still, you need that speed.
At least on MF, he's more worried about withering and getting a good ultimate on him. So he can escape with just going AD.
Kind of that support spread damage.
A lot of times, yeah, a lot of times the MF is also going to be going for a Black Cleaver next, which would make the most sense in this context, but because he's got Pickaxe and Longsword, like Zunas is going for the Last Whisper as well. I would like to see the Black Cleaver since they're going Quadra AD, but, you know, to each his own.
Indeed, Psycho Sid again getting aggressed on there, actually hits it out, uses Blade of the Rune King to try and get some more damage down, but you can see Voyboy just completely walking through it. He tries to flash over the wall on the angle, but just made up by Voyboy.
That is the Voyboy power. That's why a lot of people are predicting him for the All-Star team. Vulcan wants to go in the mid.
There they are, Nijaki actually getting dashed in, and it's going to be St. Vicious that's locked up, but the ultimate is hitting the entire team right there. That was pretty hurtful for Vulcan, and it looks like they're pushed out of this fight. It's going to be Muffin Cutie, forced to flash, but Voyboy on the backside. Mid turret's going to be theirs. Zuna, what are you doing? He's going to be pinched in as well. He just, he flashes over the wall to Voyboy. Plays that one tricky.
Yeah, but it's a 4 for 0 for Curse, and they're just putting on the pressure. That's now a 10,000 gold advantage, and this game went from bad to worse here. Curse in total control. All their armor before the armor pen and just doing whatever they want.
That Xmithy ultimate literally caused 4 members to soak up the ultimate of St. Vicious.
Ouch.
That's bad.
He was helping.
He was helping.
There's a lot of helping Jarvins today. There was Chowster helping out Hotshot in the top lane. Next, Smithy helping out Quinn and Bell.
So much helping here. 23.5 minutes in. Voyboy, these guys just looking to pick up as much as they can to hurt Vulcan on the way out. He looks like to push this bottom lane again, give him something else to think about. Baron will be cleared, and it may be a focus for Curse. If they can get one of those pushes down, I think a Baron could even be uncontested for them here.
Yeah, especially now. Pink Ward City for Elements. Doesn't have the Ruby Sightstone yet. He's pretty adamant about not needing the Ruby Sightstone every game. Just build whatever contextual you need. Build the wards when you need the wards. And I think now is the time where they actually need an Oracle. So I think that's going to be what Elements goes back and gets, as well as whatever the heck else he wants. But Curse will look to take some big-time control really soon.
They're sitting really nice. They've had the time to build a few core items they need. The tier is still stacking on Nijaki, like we said, the Rod of Ages, but they have a Glacial Shroud now on Jackie, on St. Vicious as well. The Warden's Mail coming out for Voyboy. So they're already into piecing their next core items together, which is huge and far surpassing Vulcan.
Yeah, they really know the name of the game right here. And Curse is one of the teams that itemizes better than anybody else. Even as far as Elements getting that Athene's Unholy Grail on Lulu when he can, because just the cooldown reduction and the mana expenditure of Lulu is so high that building that just really helps.
Well.
I feel like he's going for Athene's Unholy Grail as well next, but they can do whatever they want when they have this big of a gold lead, and they're just walking in for this inhibitor.
They are going to be able to get a bit of damage here. We'll see what Saint decides to do initially. He turned his focus down towards that Spirit Fire and the rest of Vulcan. They're all sitting on one side, not ready for really to pounce on a Jarvan ultimate right now.
Yeah, and Curse will be in good situation here. There is a Last Whisper on Zuna, but I gotta say, Voyboy, 214 armor. St. Vicious, 230. Even Nijacky's got 130. This is huge for Curse. Free inhibitor, and they might fight after.
There's the slowdown. They get a few attacks out. Looks like they won't be able to do too much. Vulcan forced to just clear out minions in their base. We've seen it before as well. You take down a turret, even in the base, you throw a ward down instantly.
The inner turret wards have actually created a lot of kills so far in the LCS as well. But here comes the baiting from Curse. There's a lot of AoE potential. The scout from Mandatory Cloud is actually probably going to catch this one out, and they're going to have to back away. But they still have the Oracle's control, and that spell for Quinn is on a 40-second cooldown. So now there's more control coming for Curse.
That is actually quite a big window to work with. League of Legends, a game of seconds and even half seconds, if you will, once it gets down to the nitty-gritty. Looks like not even boots. All first-tier boots coming out for Vulcan right now. They have not been able to upgrade.
And they're just too far behind, right, Riv? It's 11,000 gold, 17 kills to 5. We've had a couple close ones. I know the Complexity CLG game was just like absolutely insane. And this one is more the controlled style that Curse had in their last game against Vulcan way back when they played last. And it's one of those compositional and item build advantages that they're just continuing to grow. Like, Curse might be waiting until someone can get a Frozen Heart or even just complete some Randwin's Omens, but even if they don't, then they're going to go whenever. And there's the Frozen Heart on a Jackie.
Yeah, and you mentioned conditional. Elements doesn't even have boots. He is a damage dealer for his team.
Yeah, who needs them? Who needs boots? You Lulu. You can just go fast, speed yourself up.
Exactly. So Tier still stacking. Jackie just not spamming his skills this game. Usually we'll see that stacked up by the next few minutes. We'll have to, one of those Randuins finished out, a second one to be finished out here by St. Vicious. And he hasn't done anything with the Spirit Stone. Locket and Aegis as the bulwark trying to be brought to fruition here for Xmithy on his team. And really, they do have quite a bit of magic damage to deal with.
Right, and Curse can go whenever they want. Jackie actually has his teleport up right now, so he's using that awesome split push potential to force more action onto Vulcan. They've already used their scouting, and Vulcan is probably going to have to make something happen, but none of these are high percentage plays. They have to take huge risks if they want to get any type of way back in this game.
They're trying to push back St. Vicious there. They got to be careful where they put their focus here and what they use. Nijackie in that bottom lane. That's going to be versus Quinn. Mandatory Cloud coming down to try and do this. He doesn't exactly have a zero build here for Jackie, or a zero death build from 100 to 0.
Yeah, and Mandatory Cloud doesn't have armor penetration yet, so even though he could be like a 1v1 dueler, it's 181 armor rise. I feel like Nijackie would beat him in a duel either way.
Pressure from Curse coming in here. It looks very much like TSM versus GGU. They're just not able to get the initiation. You don't want to have to start with Muffin Cutie. Xmithy really can't get a follow-up from Psycho Sid just yet without that Zonia's coming in. So they're kind of waiting for that first person to step out of line.
And I don't think Vulcan's going to do it, right? They're going to wait for Curse to kind of overdive. They know the way Curse's aggression works. I feel like Curse's dive is probably going to work when they decide to do it, but Vulcan's probably not going to gift them an engage.
Yeah, you saw one auto attack to one Q from Rise there, and it was absolutely in Nijackie's favor. That turret almost going down. You can see Siege minions already on the Nexus turrets. Mandatory Cloud has 2 jobs right now, and it looks like Curse is trying to keep them in a fight up top. This is really just mind games for both teams.
Yeah, split push Rise is definitely not something you see every day. He is the slowest turret pusher in the game because you get either attack damage or percentage, 60% of your ability power, whichever is greater on the hits. But since Rise builds mana, it doesn't work. Now Curse going.
Curse are going in. Voyboy, Psycho Sid forced to flash, and he goes right onto him. Slicing Maelstrom, not even providing any stun or damage for the team. Voyboy getting bullet time onto him. He's forced out of the fight, but he keeps himself alive here. Xmithy's still too far ahead, and like I said, they just can't get back in after the Cataclysm.
And that was a 1 for 0. I mean, ManCloud zipped over there with his speedy bird, but it didn't matter because they were far behind. That was still a very close fight. Voyboy took a lot of turret damage before that happened. They had enough auras, they had enough health, they got their objective, and they backed off without any losses.
Seeing Voyboy and St. Vicious with low health has to be good for them, but they have to consider what was used to do that, and what are they going to lose next time before they can get that health back down. You have Cop, and you still have Nijackie that weren't really fully in that fight, and that's scary.
I mean, Nijackie teleported in, but it didn't matter. That is just, it's a whole lot of trouble for Vulcan right now. 7 turrets to 1, 18 kills to 5. These are not easy things to come back from. This is going to be Dragon number 4 that goes down to Curse. So 4,000 gold just in Dragons.
So at 3-3-1, the highest CS in the game, 272, do you think a Bloodthirster into a Triforce wasn't the right build for a mid-Quinn?
I think it's probably a pretty good build. Okay. It's just a matter of all the armor that Curse was able to accumulate and the fact that they couldn't pull off any type of split pushing, right? Like, he got to those items pretty quick, but Curse was just getting so much gold elsewhere.
It's kind of like that at the time I bought the static shift. It's great. It's kind of falling off.
Yeah, and it's really strange to me as well that they decided to go AD on Psycho Sid as well. He's actually just kind of bastardized his build here. He Blade of the Ruined King with Source Shoes, and now he's going for Zani's Hourglass.
Yeah,
you're doing hybrid Kennen. Yes, cool. Psycho.
Where's the
crazy.
Where's the Ginsu's, man?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening with that.
Old day
build.
Rage Blade. We'll have to see 218 to 194 on the AD carries as well. Infinity Edge PD to, like we said, that Bloodthirster into Last Whisper. And there's a lot of poke going on right now. Both teams getting quite antsy here in the possible initiation. This could mean the game for Curse. We are pretty high up in those levels right now. And actually, Zuna is level 13 to a level 14 Cop. So they are actually quite behind in levels.
Yeah, Cop actually not the most farmed minion-wise, but he's gotten all the kills, so he's got these big items. And this is another one of those situations, like Psycho Sid's down, Curse is taking whatever they want.
Taken out of the fight, and Psycho Sid just wanted to get the Blade of the Rune King active in there, and he did, but it cost him his team. Curse, Saint, and Boy inside Cataclysm, a perfect ultimate there. The crescendo goes across, but Zuna can't even use bullet time for more than a second. He's absolutely pushed off by Cop's damage. It looks like Curse has the base. They finalize the inhibitor, the Nexus turrets in their eyes.
This looks like the end for them. They did the slow push, they got it through, and I mean, Cop has got to be happy. No deaths this game, same for Elements, Curse rolling.
And looks like Cop actually says, give me some more kills. I want to get in here. You can see him chatting on the screen, but it's only going to be the Nexus turret and the Nexus. Nobody's up to go down. Zuna is staying way back by the store handler, and they are going to win at that 31-minute mark.
It was a little anticlimactic at the end there. Nice try by Vulcan, picking Mandatory Cloud the Quinn, but happy smiles from Curse going around. Voyboy's like, pick me for the All-Star game. All these guys really want to head to Shanghai, but good games all around. Disappointing week for Vulcan, though. They came into this with high expectations and ended up going 0-3.
So I think early job from Curse on Kennen, knowing Kennen is such a late-game team fight trouble, to shut him down and give him such a hard time really took that composition apart.
Boy really played well in top lane, but St. Fish's map pressure just in general, 13 assists on Nasus. Like, everywhere he went, the Withers were creating kills for him. So just, that is his jungler. St. Fish is just a guy who controls the game. He says himself he doesn't have crazy, amazing mechanics, but he knows the game. He has the knowledge, and he really put it to use in that game.
Absolutely. Stealing all the CS from lane, like you said, trying to be more of a bully than support for his team, and it works out. Those fights initiated mostly by him.
Yeah, he did a great job the entire game. The builds as well for their team entirely were just awesome. Vulcan never got to Black Cleaver. They only got one Last Whisper. They were running, like, I guess 3.5 ADs because Psycho Sid decided to go for the Seeker's Arm Guard near the end, but that was a total victory for Curse.
Absolutely. Curse coming up with another win, and there's still more LCS on the way. When we come back, we have Nijaki and St. Vicious from Curse, and after that, we'll take a look at where all the teams stand. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everybody. I am Jat here, joined by the victorious Curse Gaming, Saint Vicious, and Nijaki. First question I have to ask is, what did you think when they locked in Quinn so early in the game?
At first, I thought they accidentally picked it, and then I don't know. I mean, they went with it. You know how to play it. But Jackie was sitting there in Champ Select, and we're trying to explain to him what Quinn does because he doesn't even know what the champion does. Yeah. And I don't know. It was kind of bad.
Well, how was playing against Quinn then, Jackie? Like, had you ever played against it in a lane?
Never.
So how did you deal with it?
Like, in the Champions League, like, what does she do? Like, she has CC, like, stun, whatever. Like, does she like burst damage? And, like, was wondering because I'm kind of scared because I never played against her before. So I should play way better, like, because I don't know what she does. So I play kind of passive. But I find out, like, wow, she can't do anything when I just woke up. Like, I just shit on him.
Oh, my God, Jackie.
Well, that was a good – I mean, you did actually do quite well in that game. Your rise was incredibly strong. And another thing, Saint, your Nasus, especially in the ganks you put in the top lane to help Voyboy, how did he win that lane so hard, do you think, Renekton versus Kennen?
I mean, he went 80 Kennen, and I guess he didn't expect the Ghost on Renekton because, like, usually Renekton, it's just, oh, I flash and then I stun you, and then that's it. But I think because he had Ghost, he could just keep chasing Kennen even after he does his little electric surge move. So I guess that kind of caught him off guard. So that's good on Voyboy for getting those summoners. Yeah,
so you guys are still top of the league. That obviously probably feels really good. But you came into this week and you went 2-1. Do you want to talk about your loss a little bit?
Well, I think just for CLG, we just kind of choked, and it was a bad game for us. And we just didn't really play the team comp like it should have been played. Just misplay on our part. CLG played a really good game. Like Hotshot did really good on Cho, so I got to give them credit on that. And I mean, just play what they always play. You know, protect the double lift.
Right. I mean, you guys would know CLG kind of better than anyone. Do you see their team kind of improving or adapting? Like, how different is the CLG now from, for instance, the CLG you were on?
Oh, that's like so long ago.
Way different? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember. Well, I don't know. Like, Chaucer says there's no more arguing, but that's not what I hear. But that's a whole nother thing. So CLG is just set in the way they play now. I think they're just going to be really stagnant. Like versus the NA scene, I think that's okay. But once teams start really figuring them out, and especially in the international scene, then I don't see them making it.
Right. So even in the international scene, I mean, obviously it's way too early to kind of predict what's going to happen yet, but you guys are clearly the #1 seed in North America. You're doing incredibly well. Come Split 2, if you guys finish, you're going to have to deal with those international teams. How do you think North America is going to be doing against that type of competition?
To be honest, I think we do enough research, we'll be okay. I mean, Jackie actually talks to all the Chinese teams, so.
What do you think of the Chinese teams? What do you think of World Elite and IG?
I've been knowing them for so long. Back in the day when they just came to play on the US server, and I was like helping them translate and even sub for them. I think they're really strong, like individually, and then for teamwork right now, like they're like improve a lot.
Okay.
And they like try new stuff. They don't really care. They just bring up like any brand bottom, like what? Like, and it worked out some games. I don't really know. They just. Not like like it's all the same. Like we don't play really new champion. Like some champion we never seen. It's like Queen. It's like first time we see Queen play on the LCS. Like I really like to see that because there's like new stuff.
So then how does the North American teams kind of get to that level when they're more willing to try new stuff? Is maybe the short practice schedule between weeks in NA doing anything to do it, or is it just the fact that people are mimicking each other?
We actually try a lot of new stuff, but we lost every single one, so well, back to normal. That's what happened to us.
Yeah, we do a lot of scrims during the week, and then we actually never win our scrims, ever. We're just like, man, we just got beaten 10 minutes by our B team. This sucks. But I don't know. We just always pick the most random things and we try it out. If it sticks, then we go with it. So like Gragas Karthus, we've actually haven't played that in months. We didn't scrim with it. This is probably Voyboy's first Gragas game in probably like a month.
And then it got banned out like twice later in the season. So I mean, how does that actually work for you guys then? Because you play whatever you want in scrims, and then you seem to just be able to pull out strategies from your back pocket during games. Why do you win in the LCS but not in scrims?
I think people are just like tired, or they don't really have. They're not the same. Like we're all like juiced up on energy drink here. We've had a good night's rest, and I think we're just different mentality. And I like kind of what Reaper D says. You know, it's like you thrive in the chaos, or anything that can catch people off guard. Like we do things in scrims, and then we'll never do it. We'll just pull out something completely different than what we do in scrims in a regular game. So we always try to do something different and just let them catch people off guard.
Right, and with catching people off guard, like, who was your biggest North American competition? Obviously, you had the loss this week to CLG. I think you've lost to them twice this year, actually.
Yeah,
do you fear them more than other North American teams, or is it someone else?
Well, this is our last game that we have to play versus them for this split. I mean, obviously Dignitas, they're gunning for second, but I'd say TSM's our biggest fear because they're positioned there, and they're only, I think, 3 or 4 wins away from us. So maybe we have a bad week and they have a good week, they could creep up on us and take like first or second. But I actually feel pretty comfortable against Dignitas right now. Like, I think we figured out how they play, and we can just beat them at their game.
Can you tell me how they play?
Well, I mean, Skara has a limited champion pool. I don't know if anybody's noticed this or not, but
all right.
Yeah.
So you're just going to try to like pick and ban out his champions and get it done that way?
Yeah, I mean, I just think him and Kiwi Kid both have a limited champion pool. So, and then Cutie Pie just goes ham. But I mean, I think that's a straight.
Yeah, so, well, thank you very much, Jackie and St. Fishes. Congratulations on your victory, obviously. You guys are still #1 in the North American LCS. Much more to come in the rest of the season. Good luck in the All-Star game as well. Hopefully you guys can get voted in. I know Jackie really wants to go. But we have Kobe24, actually, over on the Telestrator, who's going to break down a play for us from the CLG versus Complexity game.
All right, thanks, Jack. I've got one clip for you guys here today. I kind of want to use as a PSA to solo queue junglers to be wary when you gank a solo lane with a red elixir and a high burst champion like Zed. So what we have here, Hotshot's going to set up the gank. He uses his ultimate to keep Nick Wu here. And Chowster did a sneaky thing where he's going to come from Nick Wu's own jungle, gank him from the Fog of War for the surprise effect. And then Chowster camps where Nick puts his Living Shadow, which is the escape that he wants to use. And he just stays there until Nick finally uses it. And then they decide after that we're going to go on with this tower dive because we've got his escape out and I've got red buff. All right, so let's roll this clip forward. Here comes the ultimate from Hotshot. Good job. Chowster's going to appear out of nowhere. Nick tries to escape, but look, Chowster just camps it. There we go. Let's pause it one more time right here. Now this is where things get dicey. Look how much life Chowster has. He's very confident. Like, okay, we're going to do a tower dive right now. Nick saves his burst. He uses everything right now. Ignite, ultimate. Then he immediately flashes out of the Cataclysm that Chowster puts on him right here. He flashes out this way to escape, and Chowster panics because he takes so much burst damage with the Ignite he's ticking. He flashes out of his Cataclysm, trying to escape to this side, but it leaves Hotshot inside the Cataclysm. Hotshot ends up taking a whole bunch more damage, and then even though they pinged out Kale, the roam from Kale down bottom is going to end up getting them 2 kills out of this. So let's roll this at full speed as well. Here comes the amazing burst. Oh, Chaucer's panicking now. He leaves up the Cataclysm. Hotshot's just taking tower hits for free right now, so he's getting even lower. Now Kale's going to come in, finish off for a double kill. There goes the Ignite, and Chuper will use his flash to finish it off. It's just a really good turnaround, and that's one of the reasons why people ban Zed against Nick Wu. You don't want to give him that champion. He's too comfortable on it. He can even turn out double kills from a tower dive. All right, so back to you guys at the desk.
Awesome. Thanks, Kobe. Now let's see where the teams stand after our 12-game weekend. Curse is 14-3 after going 2-1. Dignitas is 16-5 as well, going 2-1. Actually, everybody. Team Solo Mid 14-6 as well. And CLG now 10-10 back at 500.
Vulcan had the unfortunate 0-3 this week, going to 7-13, and it's becoming a little crowded down here. It's 6-12 Marn, 5-13 GGU, and a very close back 4-14 Complexity.
Absolutely, and we have reached a point where the standings will start to weigh heavily on the pros' minds. At the end of Week 10, the top 6 teams move on to the playoffs, and the bottom 2 teams must fight for their lives at the promotion relegation match.
And to make it even more interesting, the 2 last place teams from the 16 playoff will also be thrown into the promotion relegation mix, which means seeds 3 through 6 are in danger of dropping into relegation.
And that's where the 4 pro teams will duke it out against promising amateurs for spots in the fall season. It's do or die, and it's guaranteed to have some amazing matchups you won't want to miss. And now it's time to crown our MVP of the week for helping his team go 2-1, including a big win over Curse. We're very happy to give the award to Hotshot GG.
And he gets so much flack, but his 5-1-13 game as Cho'Gath against Curse was ridiculous. He gave Cop 3 of his 12 deaths on the entire year, and his pressure allowed the other team's threats, to emerge. Like Link had a really, really awesome tournament as a result. Ended CLG's 5-game losing streak, and they brought them back to 500. Like Hotshot in general, even though he didn't win his lanes, was doing the team-centric things that created pressure and worked for their specific strategy.
Absolutely. Really deserving of the MVP this week. So on Thursday, the North American LCS continues. Kicking things off, it's a revitalized Chronologic Gaming and Week 7 MVP Hotshot taking on Complexity. Then it's Curse up against an improved GGU team that went 2-1 this week.
Our third match features Wild Turtle and TSM battling Vulcan, and closing out the day, Marn will fight to hold on to the final playoff spot when they face off against Complexity.
It all starts at 1 p.m. Pacific and 10 p.m. Central European Time. I'm Riv for Jack, Kobe, D-Man, and the entire live broadcast crew. Thanks for watching.
Back up to the store round.
Oh!
Keep chasing, keep chasing.
I have Lindsay from
Oh, get low, I can get you.
Keep going, keep
There's
going.
the reset, baby. There we go.
End the game, baby.
There we go.
There's Patoy, he's managed to get Mega Zero down. A great Shadow Dash from Kiwi Kid, catches 2 members of Marn. It's a double kill, and there is a double kill for Patoy.
Yeah. We need to walk this way.
Nick Wu is just on the outside. MIA is the focus. He's going to go down. Double kill for Link. Nick Wu gets the intervention finally, but he's just not able to focus. Oh my gosh, double lift explodes. That's what they needed right there. He goes for Chouster. Nick Wu is just going ham right now, but it's too much.
They probably can gank me again with the lane gang.
Yeah, I'm coming right now.
Zuno, I think, realizes this. He will get taken down. Oh, he's caught the light binding. There's the final spark, and he's sniped. And Cloud does get dropped. Mega Zero with a flame spin. He gets flipped in towards him, and now comes in towards Zuna. Psycho Sid goes down. Almost an ace